Hello everyone, in this tutorial we will create the make material for the vehicle. And when you look close, you can see this scratch on the car paint when it receives the damage and deform the vehicle. And this windshield when it receives the damage, it have the breaking glass pattern on the windshield. And the place that we don't have any deformation, it don't have this damaging painting. Enter this vehicle and hit this wall, and you can see this damage material. Open our destructible vehicle project from the last tutorial, and we go to plugin and search for Niagara fluid. Enable, yes, and restart. And then go to city sample project and plug in. Copy this city sample sensor grid and go to Destructible vehicle plugin and paste this plugin. And now we close it and open the Destructible vehicle project again. Go to plugin and project. Enable this city sample sensor grid. This is the Niagara data interface for vehicle damage. Enable and restart now. We need to migrate some of the assets from this city sample project. Go to Effect and Vehicle Niagara. And we need this vehicle damage system runtime. Right click and migrate. We done migrate Niagara and Niagara fluid. And then click OK. Choose the location of our project, Destructible vehicle. Go to Content and select Folder. And yes all to override it. And you can see this project in the effect vehicle and Niagara. We have this vehicle damage system runtime. And go to Material and Debug Scratch Maps. Migrate this. Click OK. And select Folder. And in the blueprint, we migrate the initialized vehicle. You can open this blueprint first. This initialized vehicle, we set the proxy vehicle skeleton mesh and add Niagara particle. The particle is vehicle that make system pre-process. This one. So to migrate it, go to blueprint, right click on this initialize vehicle, migrate. Close all of this. Disable and material texture vehicle. We disable this vehicle 10, vehicle 2, vehicle 5, vehicle 6, vehicle 7, vehicle 12, 13, vehicle 4, vehicle 8, 11, 1, 9. Only use this vehicle 3. And now click OK and select folder and yes all. And you can close this city sample project. And when we go to the destructible vehicle project, you can see this Niagara system vehicle that makes system pre-process, and this one is runtime. You can open this Niagara system. Now this system is not yet working because we don't have any texture on this render. So we have to fix it. And this Niagara system not yet working too. And close this. Go to blueprint and initialize vehicle. We have some error. And this is the error is pin Niagara skeleton mesh connectivity. And we connect to this. We can delete this function. Compile. And it's compiled successfully. Next, we go to vehicle and blueprint. Vehicle based destruction. And we have to initialize this Niagara system. So go to city sample project and go to vehicle, blueprint, vehicle based destruction. Close all of these functions that we open from the event. We need this initialize vehicle texture and trigger sensor particle. And copy and paste it here. And create a sequence. And connect this then to init vehicle texture and sensor. And we delete this ready to spawn because we don't have this event yet. And promote this to variable. And vehicle initializer to variable. Right click, create variable, enable GPU debug. and can spawn sensor grid and compile. And this use Niagara based destruction, set it to true. Go to event. Go to city sample project. And we need this vehicle sensor setup. Copy it and paste it here. Open this sensor setup and promote this to variable Niagara vehicle sensor and decal. Ready to spawn Niagara sensor, create variable. And this scratch render target, create variable. Use custom the make texture. Debug tension and scratch map. We call sensor valid this destruction index. And this debug scratch dynamic material. And we create this and pass variable, sensor scale, decal scale, and this glass, decal offset, and delete this function. And for this error, we have to call generate MID. This event is generate MID. And this one generate MID. And it took for each loop. Compile. And we have one error is vehicle ID found. Create variable. Compile again. And we don't have any error. We need to set up the vehicle sensor because this sensor have to detect where is the surface that collide with other object of the vehicle. And we use the Niagara system as the sensor of this vehicle. Then click on this mesh, scroll down, and find on component hit. And split this hit struct pin. Get enable destruction and boolean, and other actor is not equal to safe. And create branch and call deform vehicle and reset constraint. This hit bone name next to other collision bone name, and this hit bone name to bone name, other actor to other actor, and other component to other collision component. And create a branch and call do one when it deform the vehicle. then spawn local vehicle sensor generate MID and set up texture function. And you can double click on it and find it here inside the vehicle sensor setup. So it's only set up the vehicle sensor when the vehicle get hit and it's deform the bone. Let's compile and we can save all. Go to this init vehicle texture and call ready to spawn. And when it true, call ready to spawn event. And this one, alternate vehicle initialization texture complete. Ready to spawn. And compile. Go to this vehicle sensor setup. And we can see this spawn system attached. We spawn this vehicle that makes system runtime. And create dynamic material instance. Inside this effect material, we use this debug scratch map material. And now compile and save all. Play test and go inside this vehicle and let's try. It doesn't have any effect because our vehicle material is not using that material that have the damage inside it. If you remember, we use the material from the city sample vehicle that does not have the deformation. So go to vehicle and vehicle 3 mesh, open this SKM proxy and we go to material go to vehicle car, vehicle 3 material and MI. Delete this vehicle car, vehicle 3 12 and replace it to this material. You can see this material is not working, but we have to set it first. And another one is windshield. Use this windshield material. Let's go to mesh, open this exterior collision. And this door, everything that we need to use the paint of the vehicle that can damage. We have to switch it. Go to material and this material 12, set to this, and this one can use material 12 and use this material MI VK vehicle 3 12 and this one and paint this material. And let's save all. And close this static mesh and skeleton mesh. We can see this material is not working because it have the grid. And open this material and close this. And scroll down and find the parent of this material. It have this error, missing material function dynamic vehicle damage missing material function. Let's find the parent of it. And another one, MVK. And this is the error. We get the error because we don't have this mass traffic vehicle state flag. That is the mass traffic ran. Everywhere that use this mass traffic ran, we have to disconnect it. And we can copy this, connect it to true instead. And this one, we connect it to add. We don't multiply to this. Let's move this down. And we lost some of the error. And go to this dynamic vehicle damage. Search for this material. This dynamic damage responsible for the scratch of this texture. Open it. You can see here near the wing call normal, this unspecified function. We have to search for normal string and use this mf normal string. There are many mf normal string material function, but we choose the path location is crowd character share material function. Choose this one and connect this to string and this normalize to normal. And this place and specify function, search for normal string and use this crowd character share material function. Connect this to string and this to normal, connect it to additional normal. Let's save and go to MV campaign. And now we can see that this dynamic vehicle damage don't have any error. Save all. And when we play, we can see we need to preparing the shader. So it's take a lot of time to compile the shader. Let's close this first. And yes, to save the material. And save selected. And we have to open this destructible vehicle project again. And open the asset editor that we close it. And you can see this preparing shader. I do this because when we close and then open again, I feel it is faster to prepare the shader. But you have to wait this until it get 100%. After we preparing the shader, I spent nearly 30 minutes to wait for this to finish. And this new material, our vehicle look really dirty. There are a lot of dirt on the vehicle. So go to this MV campaign, and this vehicle imperfection is responsible for the dirt on the vehicle. Search for the location. Let's find this and search vehicle imperfection, open. And if this dirt set to 1, it means it's really dirty, so we can set it to 0.4. And this dirt splatter set to 0.4. And let's apply and save, and we can see this vehicle material is cleaner. Close all this material. Go to vehicle 3. Go to vehicle blueprint and the destruction. Let's search for debug variable and set this debug tension scratch to true to debug this material. Let's play and enter this vehicle. When we go to hit the wall, we can see the material that deform. It have the strong red, and somewhere that not have any deformation is black. And you can see it is working. The sensor can detect where is the vehicle collide. So go back to destruction and disable this debug. And play test again. And go to hit another vehicle. And let's see our vehicle from the front. And you can see the scratch and the roughness. Slow down this camera a little bit, and this scratch of the paint and this scratch. And another vehicle, press on it and press F to quick focus on it. And here is the damage material, and from the somewhere that don't have the damage, it don't have any scratch. Copy this vehicle and move it up, and then rotate it 90, 180 for it, and Z is 90. Then let it fall down, and let's move this vehicle here in this start player start, and when it fall down, it collide. Here you can see the scratch on the rooftop a little bit. You can go to the SKM exterior and can see this windshield, and make sure it is the vehicle 3 windshield, not from the city sample vehicle. And this one, we don't have windshield. And this, use this vehicle 3 windshield. And save all. Let's play test. When it fall, we get the material with this windshield. You can see this when it get the damage. Is deformed, it get this damage material. But the rooftop of the vehicle, I feel it is deformed, but it is not too strong, the deformation. So we can adjust it by go to animation, see all frame, destruction, control rig. Go to preview scene and select the SKM proxy vehicle 3. And when we move this down, you can see this deformation, but it's too little. So go to hierarchy and roof control, click on detail, expand this, and you can see this min. It's limit the location of the C location. Can set it to -10 and move this, continue to move this down. Or if you want it to have less deformation, you can set it higher and go to physics. This vehicle 3 physics PA collision, and you can see this physics component. It's try the control rig. Click on the setting and show constraint and find the roof constraint. This is the roof and roof constraint. Click on it. And for this constraint, we can choose this translate object to move the constraint. This set the depth of the vehicle that could be crashed. So move it down a little bit. The Z of this position is -1.1. And save. Now let's play test again. When this vehicle fall down, you can see this roof have more deformation than the last one. When we adjust the setting, and this glass also have more damage because of the roof deformation. Let's play test this vehicle, and you can see this glass, it get the damage. Now we have the damage material. I would like to announce that I just launched my Patreon page. My YouTube channel is not monetized yet, so I don't have any income. I hope you will join me on Patreon and help me to keep creating tutorial for you. And thank you very much, Mr. Jameson Parker, for being my first patron. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next tutorial.